Top 10 Greatest Cars of All Time. There are cars that everyone loves, whether they are an avid motor enthusiast, vehicle specialist, or even a Formula 1 hero, everyone loves these cars. They give perfect drivability, their style is legendary, and they go down in history as the greats. So, what are these cars? Well, we have compiled a list of the 10 best ever cars. Number 10. Jaguar E-type. The Jaguar E-type has the aesthetic of a greyhound in a car's body. Its long front and compact rear reminds you of a greyhound's head, but is it as speedy as a greyhound? It is the sports car for Jaguar, no doubt. But, its shape is what really caught the eye of every motoring enthusiast out there. It was unique. However, it is as quick to run as a greyhound. It has towering torque that explodes from its straight 6xk motor, with a top speed of around 140 miles per hour, and like a true cruiser. You could happily sit in second gear for 70. There were plenty of variations, but the 3.8 was probably the sweetest ride. However, the 4.2 was likely the most usable. The E-type was nothing much more than sheer style and performance. It is no wonder these cars are like the face of Jaguar style. Number 9. Lancia Aurelia. This is a car from the 50s that looks and feels it. The Aurelia saloon cars are dignified, and you can tell just by looking at them. Sure, a Spider or a convertible is glamorous and screams, "I have money," but an Aurelia does so much more. This was the world's first ever 2x2 fitted V6 engine, able to top 155 miles per hour, and with a stellar drive to it. Some of the greatest world champions happily drive around on the road in these. If we look at the time in which they were at their height, it is safe to say that the Lancia Aurelia was definitely the masterpiece of the time. It was satisfying, stylish and very road capable. What more could you want? Number 8. Ford GT40. We do not usually associate Ford with epic masterpieces, but Ford really outdid themselves with this one. They flexed their technological muscles and built the GT40, which is an endurance racer that is built to win. It won at Le Mans a total of 4 times in a row in the 60s. To remember the success of this car, Ford then came out with the Mk3 GT40 for street driving, and you can buy it for a fairly decent price for what it is. It is one of the best looking cars ever made. But its insides are just as hot to look at. With a 4.7L V8 engine and a 306 brake horsepower, it can thrust from 0 to 60 in just 5.3 seconds. It also has a pretty rigid chassis and gentle suspension. Its handling is a dream, making it not just fast, cheap for what it is, and pretty to look at, but also highly drivable. Number 7. Audi Quattro. Most people never saw the Quattro coming. It was quite the leap for a company who was so absorbed with making functional family cars. This four-wheel drive masterpiece with turbocharging changed motoring for everyone. It has near supercar style levels of performing ability when driven in a straight line. And let's not forget its 140 miles per hour abilities. It can put its fully whack into gear in any weather. Or, almost. Sure, it does not look all fancy and glam, but it became something of a legend in rally staging. It has a 5-cylinder engine that dominates the stage. It took 23 wins in the 80s, and it also won 2 championships as well. That is quite the achievement. Number 6. Mclaren F1. The Mclaren F1 is something that you dream of as a kid. It's an impressive specimen that most of us could only ever dream of driving. It has 0 to 60 of 3.2 seconds, and a top speed of 240 miles per hour. Its 0-100 is 6.3 seconds, and it can complete a quarter mile in just 11.1 seconds. It is an impressive car that will wow everyone around you, but it's unlikely you'll ever afford one. Made in 1993, you know McLaren was looking to wow everyone when they released this beast. It is sleek, beautiful, and has godly bodywork like something from Batman or a Transformers movie. It was well ahead of its time, as we see more supercars like this now, but when it was made it was out of this world. Number 5. Alfa Romeo 8C. By this we are talking about the 2009 Alfa Romeo 8C Spider. It is the kind of car that acts how it looks. And when you look at it, you instantly want it in your life. You take a peek, and you start thinking about taking out a second mortgage, selling your left kidney, or starting up a career as a bank robber to afford it. It is gorgeous, and it feels as good as it looks. It is fast, and it sounds even more glorious than it looks. It has a 450 brake horsepower, 4.7L V8 engine. Its gearbox is 6-speed electronically actuated and manual. It had a crazy 0 to 62 time of just 4.5 seconds, making it only 0.3 of a second slower than the coupe. What is sad about this model is that it is not easy to get one. They are gorgeous, but not many were made. Number 4. Lotus Elan. Lotus is not as popular now as it once was, although that is not entirely surprising really. However, the Lotus Elan is one of the most beautiful cars we have ever seen. Most people say the Lotus 7 was almost like a cart and riding was rough. For the Elan to come along, it was like a masterpiece. It was light, and it behaves like a real car. It succeeded where other Lotuses had failed. It was speedy, comfortable, durable, and it was also weirdly well equipped for mass production too. Its upshot was in its curb weight, at just over 1,500 pounds. It has 105 horsepower, twin cam, and 1.6L for that lives under its hood. Its suspension is 4-wheel independent, and its tires perfect. It was the full package, in a tiny speedy little car. Number 3. Porsche 911 RS 2.7. This particular model of Porsche is considered to be one of the finest models to ever wear the Porsche bags. Porsche has always been a big player in the game of motorsports, but with this vehicle in particular you find that the line that is drawn between road car performance and track successes started to become less visible. As the car became more popular, the engine capacity was raised to 2.7L, and Porsche raised the power to 21 brake horsepower. The car is now capable of hitting 0 to 60 in only 5.5 seconds, and it has a top speed of 153 miles per hour. There are many variations of the Porsche 911 RS 2.7, however, if you are a car collector, you surely want one of the originals from this line, because it was those that made history. Number 2. Ferrari F430. We know it is kind of a cliché to have a Ferrari so high up our list, but you cannot hate this car, even if you think that Ferraris are a bit cliché. It has an allure that begins with the noise it makes. Due to its flat plane crankshaft, spreading the exhaust pulses equally per cylinder, its 479 HP, 4.3L V8 engine lets out this scream like a vengeful banshee, the kind you'd expect of a F1 engine. However, it is also a Ferrari, so the noise is not the only thing that makes it awesome. Let's not forget here is a set of vacuum-actuated muffler bypass flaps inside the exhaust of this car, one for each set. Trying to drive this car without triggering these are just impossible. Number 1. BMW E30 M3. The BMW E30 M3 is the champion on our list. It may not be as fast as other M3s or have as big of an engine. It has a 2.3L S14 and a robust and happy-to-rev engine. It only sported a 4-cylinder engine, but it had the growl of a beast, and it was rare that this car would ever break. It was useful for owners of this car, a vehicle that never breaks and that sounded like a beast. It was perfect, although many still have an issue with its pitiful 4-cylinder engine. However, in spite of this, it is like a rare example of the old-time ideal car was fit for road use and track use. So, don't slander it just yet. Not until you try. That's all for this top 10 list. If you have a different favorite best car of all time, please let us know in the comment. Thanks for watching.